want to start by thanking you all so very much. I have a real passion for this issue. I really feel so strongly that every young person deserves to realize his or her own human potential. And your movement has to start with the young people. And they have to feel not only your support, but the support of everybody. They need to believe that their life is worth something and that they have great gifts to give. And so together, we must celebrate the young people and help them feel safe, protected, nurtured, and excited about their life, not afraid. So we'll talk a little bit. You've got, this is such a great gathering, and you've got new challenges, perhaps new causes, new opportunities, and hopefully new allies. GLSEN is the only LGBT group that is an official member of our alliance, and we would like to welcome any of the groups that are represented here and more to become part of the alliance. It's a way to become sort of quickly visible on behalf of the young people that we all care about. And it's also kind of a one-stop shopping opportunity to really plug into the youth development world and the education crisis, which I will talk to you a little bit. Special thanks to Tim Sweeney and the entire Gill Foundation, and Kate for her good humor and wonderful way of leading. So the America's Promise Alliance, see if we can start these slides, was founded in '97 by Colin Powell and all the presidents. And we do believe in 5 fundamental promises that every young person in this great land of ours deserves to have the opportunity to realize. These 5 personal promises. And caring adults, it's all about being an ally. Safe places, oh my God, you know, not just in school, but in the neighborhood, on the walk home from school. And even in your home, which is not always safe for our LGBT young people. So we're all about caring adults in safe places and a healthy start and a great education and an opportunity to help others. Young people need to be invited to serve and volunteer, and that's part of their own self-esteem. So we have been working hard on the issue of education. Over the past 2 years, we've held dropout prevention summits. And it's so important to me that young people feel safe in school and not afraid in school. And I want to commend this GLSEN report. It's in your bag, the National School Climate Survey. It's absolutely a fantastic report and highly readable. I would like to say that we run an annual competition to name the 100 best communities for young people every year, and we have recently added questions around LGBT issues and sensitivity, inviting that if we're going to celebrate a great community, they must be a safe place and a supportive environment for LGBT youth. And Eliza's on our panel of judges, so there we go. So lately, this past year, we have adopted a whole new campaign, a 10-year campaign to create a Grad Nation, taking the dropout crisis. Do you realize over 1 million kids a year drop out, 1 every 26 seconds? And it's so important, you know, dropping out of school, I don't have to tell you, it condemns you to no life potential. And it might even condemn you to welfare, drugs, prison. I mean, it's a crisis. And so how many of our LGBT youth are missing school, more and more absenteeism? Their school achievement is slipping, their academic performance is slipping because they don't feel safe, protected, supported. They're not comfortable with who they are in whatever sense. And so then they begin to be part of this dropout crisis, this silent epidemic. And so we want to make LGBT youth a focus within our Grad Nation campaign. So we've launched this 10-year campaign, and it's all about a focus on 90% high school graduation by the year 2020, and at least 2 years of post-secondary by that same year. And our special focus is on the lowest performing schools. Now here's a metric you can get your head around. There are only 1,600 high schools who account for over half of the dropout crisis. So now this begins to be a finite number. The business people in the room realize this is something you can get your head around. And so it gives us a way to focus. There is an opportunity in every single state, as you can see, especially the South. The South is challenged in more ways than one. And so our focus is on these lowest performing high schools, the feeder middle schools, the feeder elementary schools, and those neighborhoods. The young people who live in those neighborhoods, that ecosystem, if you will, is it a safe, supportive, nurturing environment? So these are schools that have less than 60% graduation. So while we have a 90% goal for the country, we have an 80% goal for these schools. So within the next decade, we want to get every single school in America to at least an 80% graduation rate. And we have a special focus, and we're inviting communities to help us track, community by community, 10 milestone indicators. Every child needs health care. Every child should start with preschool. They have to be reading at grade level by the end of 3rd grade. So 8th grade math and science scores. These are the metrics that will help a community track how are we doing. So take these metrics, map those communities where the lowest performing schools are, take care of the youngest, the most vulnerable young people, and see that they have these fundamental supports. And we invite communities to become Grad Nation communities committed to this agenda. We invite states to become Grad Nation states. We are having a great big summit March 22nd, our first annual Building a Grad Nation Summit. So I invite all of you to come and be a part of this with us. For myself personally, I am a white Southern Republican woman. I served in Lamar Alexander's cabinet when he was governor, but I cut my teeth on the civil rights movement in Tennessee, and it changed my life. I was marching in Memphis on behalf of the sanitation workers when Martin Luther King was assassinated, and it changed my life. And so forevermore, I have wanted to make a difference in the lives of vulnerable people, and I have wanted to be about civil rights. And the LGBT youth deserve our focus as a true civil rights and civility in America cause. So on behalf of the women's movement, which I've been active with, as well as the civil rights movement, I now want to move toward embracing LGBT youth as a huge civil rights issue. So I invite all of you. Thank you. And America's Promise Alliance stands for helping every single young person to be all that they can be. And it should not be limited by who they are or who they love. Every young person should celebrate their own human God-given potential and should be allowed for that to develop and nurture. And it begins with education. If they don't do well in school, they're just not going to make it. So I invite all of you to be a part of our Grad Nation campaign and help us celebrate the needs of these young people.